and they've got and most of our employees are Brazilian, and they've
Uh-huh.
got a tight knit group. You know, if we're looking for
Hey,
somebody,
good
they
morning,
look in
everyone.
their friend group.
Okay.
They-
So yeah, because I'm having a hard time hiring people because I mean, a warehouse guy is not gonna make $1,000, or
Hey,
750.
Caleb.
But
Hey,
either way,
Edwin.
we'll see.
Mhm.
Edwin,
Just
good evening. How are you?
just so
How
everyone
you doing,
knows.
guys?
Hey,
Hey, Reinier.
Reinier. How you
How you
doing?
doing, guys? Thank you for inviting me to the show, buddy.
Good,
Well,
good,
thank you for joining
good.
us.
No. Thank you for joining us, my friend. How's everything?
Everything is doing great so far. Can't complain. I mean,
Sounds
2020
sounds good.
was
Sounds good.
weird, but at the same time was quite excited for the cigar industry. But in 2021 is looking great already. So we'll see.
Very good. 2020 is
What a year! What a year!
fucking. Let's get it out of the way. Carajo, eso.
You know how they say hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hindsight is 2020 for sure.
Can't wait to leave it behind.
Yeah, nobody wants none of that.
And here's today. Today is 21.
It's all right. James, what are you drinking today, bud?
I made a coffee martini.
Oh,
Nice.
that,
Oh, you got
that looks
fancy.
like a good combo.
That
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
good. Yeah. Yeah, we'll give it a few more minutes to let some more guys jump
Yeah,
in.
some more guys will come in.
Rainier,
And
we've got a very
and
good response. I think we're going to have a good crowd for this.
We got
Nice.
people from
Yep. Here's Eric. Eric, we just
Eric from
met
Puerto
this week.
Rico.
Hi guys.
Hey, Eric.
Chiming
Hey,
in
how
from
you doing,
Puerto
Eric?
Rico.
Mas, ¿cómo estás?
Fine.
We got people from Texas that'll chime in for you. We have people from North Carolina and Pennsylvania. So, Eric is a wine enthusiast, and now he's got into the cigars, and he says, "Oh, this is all new to me," and he didn't know all the little
Caleb,
toys
I'm
and
gonna mute you.
gadgets that cigars have. So yesterday, I was explaining to him how to cut it, punch it, this, that, and the other. He was like, "I have to go to like university to learn this." I'm like, "No, it's just like wine, right? You're gonna
Yeah.
find wines you like. You find different openers for your wine. You have a decanter. You have different things. It's just the same thing."
Yeah, I always say to me at the same thing, like you gotta try it, right?
See,
You gotta give it a
Yeah.
try. It's the same with cigars. You gotta try when you find your palate, something that you really like it. If you want to stick with it, just stick with it. If not, I mean, you will say, "Well, I'm quite boring on this cigar, so let me try
I've
something new."
tried hundreds of cigars, hundreds of different cigars.
That's
and
all.
I've narrowed them. I've
So-
narrowed them down to probably 5 that I like to smoke, and then others that I like. It's like your little universe you've got, and then you've got little stars out here, and then maybe a few comets every once in a while.
True. True.
Greco,
Well,
good evening.
I
How are
was,
you?
there's Greco. Yeah, everyone's muted. Greco,
You're muted.
yeah. So I'm muting everyone. You know, we're lucky to have Reinier join us today.
There you go.
We're really excited to hear about his journey in the cigar industry and about the brand HVC. I'm hoping everyone's smoking their HVC. If anyone needs one, just let me know what you like. You know,
Yeah, me tonight.
I'll send you a picture of what I'm smoking.
Email me one. Shoot me a
I'm
text.
actually, for starters, I'm going to go with a
Wait.
Cerro Maduro. So
I'm going with este es el Connecticut, me imagino, the light one. Cerro también.
Corojo.
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 Yeah,
Damn, I should have
Corojo.
gotten
Yeah, we
that.
don't-
I like Corojo.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I've
we
got
don't-
the Perdomo 10th anniversary.
Good
I
stick.
hear that
Good
one is
stick.
pretty good. Yeah.
It's a club favorite. We do enjoy that one.
It's before we're gonna give a couple more minutes, Reinier, but we're gonna explain to you a little bit about what we do before you hop
Okay.
into,
Yeah.
so that you have an idea, una idea, of what we
Mhm.
do and what we're trying to do, or at least what we're trying to accomplish, right? So, Julian and we met through another online venue. What was that one? I was
I think
cigar.
it was C2, Cigar
C2?
Cartel.
Yeah. So we met through there. We decided to meet over at one of our local brick and mortars and just smoked for a couple weeks. Got to become friends, and we said, why don't we just do a page and throw pictures and have fun? So after about we're at almost 2 years. We have now we have 5,000 followers on the Instagram, which is pretty good, I think, for cigars, especially. You know what I mean? Being men too, like girls, they get 10,000. We're guys ugly.
I've tried
We're
flashing my
gender,
chest.
they get it all.
No one liked it.
We lost
No one liked
500
it, so-
followers when you
Yeah,
flashed your chest.
we lost 500
Yeah,
exactly.
They all left. Pero other than that, we started going to the brick and mortars and telling them that we were going to support them with a certain amount of people to visit. Every Thursday, rain or shine, every Thursday, consistency. Sometimes it was just Julian and myself. Other times we had 5-6 people come in. Other times we had 37 people come in. So then the COVID took over and we started doing the Zooms. The Zooms took we had a really good following. So we got some good people on the Zoom as well. From there, we went out a little bit and we started helping, instead of the brick and mortar, going to restaurants. And we would ask restaurants to let us go in the terraza afuera, and outside.
Yeah.
And they would have dinner, drinks, and we would bring a person like you with your cigars and put a table. And for instance, one of our good friends, Dean from Epic, he did our launch with us. He sold, 80 sticks in one night to the group, so, and that's what we've been doing. So now the restaurants call us, hey, come bring the group, bring the cigar people. And so that's where we're at. And that's what we're trying to do. So to promote the leaf.
That's great.
Anything you have to add? Yeah. Anything you have to add on?
You nailed it right on the head. I mean, we are trying to find cigar friendly venues in South Florida where we can all get together and learn about a cigar brand, enjoy the cigar brand, and bring business to a local restaurant, that's been hurting this past year due to COVID. So
I found that some of the local breweries will let you out on the patio and smoke cigars. I've smoked cigars out on a couple of breweries.
We actually were contemplating
Buddha, right?
going with a brewery recently. And then, when things started to get bad again is when we went back to the online format.
They were going to have chicken wings and everything on special for us. And they have the whole terrace outside, James. But they said for sure. And we could guarantee them 30 people at the minimum. That's what we've been averaging, in that and more.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've got to where anytime I go to a restaurant and they've got an outside patio, I ask them, can I smoke a cigar on your patio? And sometimes they say no, sometimes they say yes. And so I remember the ones that say yes. And, that's where I go.
Those are the ones that we need to frequent.
Here's the thing that Julian and I were studying and we were talking with other colleagues, is like your cigar smoker is not your cigarette smoker, right? It's just not. So for instance, if I go to a nice place with my wife and after dinner, I want to have a nice smoke, right, with dessert, and they have a terrace dish, I should be able to. First of all, we're going to last another hour and a half smoking a cigar, right? And I'm going to ask for a couple more drinks, and my wife is going to ask for a couple more drinks. So it just
and
keeps
2 or
that
3 more
person around.
desserts.
So yeah, it's totally, the cigar smoker spends more money than the cigarette smoker does, for sure. So that's our story. We're sticking to it. I like it. So, and then we have other groups that have joined us here too to meet you. We have Greco from Puerto Rico, from PR Studios also. We've been working together to help each other out and collaborations, like una mano se lava la otra, one hand washes the other, and we rock and roll that way. So Greco has a nice group over there as well of 2,000 followers. So Greco is there. Te presento a Greco. So very nice to get everybody online.
Thank you, Rick. Greetings from Puerto Rico. We need more cigars in Puerto Rico. That's the issue that we have now in the island. So we don't have the selection, that the inventory that you have in States. So I was very interesting because when Rick called me, hey, we got the HVC, I was looking at a lot of interviews that you have in YouTube and everything. I was very impressed with the history and it's the opportunities when you find the opportunities in the state now and you came because you came from Cuba not too young, you know, that's with a lot of experience and that was curious when I was reading and you want to keep alive the culture of the cigars and that's what we want in Puerto Rico and the web and the social media help us to unite all that people and let the people in Puerto Rico let them know that hey we like cigars too, you know, we got the problem that we can smoke in closed place and we got a public place we cannot smoke, you know, we have that problem. But that curious because I'm part of the new generation, you know, excuse me about that, you know, the new generation.
Yeah, we're all there.
Yeah, we are behind looking for new experience. I'm not a Cuban cigar smoker because in Puerto Rico we don't have access to that market. So that's curious when you want to keep the Cuban culture, how you can mix that. How was I don't know if that's the time for the question, but
No, not yet.
not yet. Okay, so
it's coming.
later. So
It's coming. It's coming.
we are very impressed with your cigars
Yes,
and
we are.
Yes, we are.
and the brand names. That's a lot of information, and we want to know how you get all that, you know, and mix that. So, but thank you for the invitation, Rick. Y nada, bienvenido a Puerto Rico Cigar Enthusiast.
Gracias. Thank you so much for you guys for having me. Yeah, it's a pleasure always. I mean,
yeah,
probably my
uh-huh.
history with cigar is quite weird when I talk people because you know I'm from Cuba, but I was not in cigar business. My family were not in cigar business even in Cuba. So my mom was a principal school, my brother's a doctor, my sister's a doctor too as well, and me and I was in medical school in Cuba my first year.
But everyone loves cigars. Probably.
Of course, I mean and Cuba when you say cigars, it's like big things that are hopefully you gotta think, and the cigar world you don't talk about Cuban. I mean, premium cigars, it's probably you don't have any idea what you're talking about. I mean, to be honest with you guys, you know, because you got to mention Cuba, and then later on you got Dominican, then you got Nicaragua doing amazing thing right now. You got Honduras, but the Bible or the premium cigar is Cuba.
Yeah,
that's right.
It is. Esa la mata. Ahí donde empezó.
I mean, exactly. So no matter what I mean, sometimes I'm really pissed off when I buy a box and they are not right. So I spend, I don't know, $200, $300. It's a waste of money. So I said, well, I know they got that big problem with the quality control and all that, but when you get a really nice Cuban cigar, it's really nice. And me personally, I really enjoy it.
So we have a couple of questions that we wrote down, and Julian and I went back and forth last night, and we don't want to like bore you with the same question.
Right.
So
no, bro.
When did you leave Cuba? So we're gonna get into the best questions. First off, is like, what's your shoe size? I'm just kidding.
No, Reinier was already heading down that path. You know, we want to hear the story. You know, you were starting to tell us your families are doctors. You know, you were in medical school. I mean, what brought you here?
And then, you know, it's called like when I left Cuba in 2008, my family already was working for Tropical Tobacco. Tropical Tobacco is an salif, one of the biggest growing of tobacco in Nicaragua. My family is still working with them for almost 20 years now. Oh. So, but by that time, when I left Cuba in 2008, I moved to Wisconsin. Because before medical school, I was doing veterinarian in Cuba. So I got a veterinary background first, and I started working in Wisconsin for a genetics company. I was all by myself there, really warm weather, really
Yeah,
nice, hot.
yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I was in Wisconsin for 7 years, but I did time every time I came down to Miami every month in my free time. So I always stop there in Tropical. And you know, you got that things that you always want to do things. I remember being a child in Cuba. If I tell you the truth, I never want to be a Dutch. That was more like thing like, well, let's follow the family.
Right.
I know always I want to do something, want to build something. In 2009, the owner of Haganos, Eduardo Fernandez, invited me to go to Nicaragua. And when he invited me to go to Nicaragua, he showed me all the process and everything. I was quite really impressed because they do everything. They are how do you say, like vertically integrated.
Mm.
They do everything, and I was so impressed. And then I go back here to the States, and I go back there working in 2011. That's when I decided to start HVC. And this is quite funny. I said, well, you know, and most people in cigar want to put their name on it. So my name is Reinier Lorenzo. I said, well, Reinier Lorenzo, I don't know. That sounds quite weird to me for a cigar brand. Why not
Right.
HVC? And my family were, what do you mean HVC? I said, well, Havana City, you know, that's the place. I grew up there and I love it. And that's a lot of history with cigars back then too. So why not HVC? And today, even in today, some people, they don't know the brand. They say, well, what's HVC stand for? I said, well, Havana City, that's where I'm from there. Oh, okay, that's a good transition there. And then in 2011, in my free time, I used to go to, that's my first accounts in the business. It was like old Chicago, Michigan, Indiana, Minnesota, because in my free time, I used to go there and visit account with my first cigar that came out in the market. That was HVC First Selection. And today we don't produce that cigar anymore. The banks were quite weird, really future. It was not really like all style bands that we do today. And the cigar were unbelievable, amazing. You know, 90, 100% Aganosa. You know, I don't know if you guys know that they only grow Corojo 99 and Criollo 98. That's the two types of seed the most Cuba and the region they grow.
What happened in
What?
Cuba? Había se murió, died, right? That seed died or something. I heard, right?
Well, which one? Do you know
The
which one?
Corojo 99, or they
No,
hybridated
they
it because
yeah,
they
no,
had a
they
pandemic in Cuba.
exactly. Yeah, they always that's what happened every year. They try to hybridate it to more because I mean, the problem with the Corojo 99, the sweetness is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you got the real Corojo 99, but the problem they are not really well with the blue mold, the pata negra. It's a mold that attack the plant and they kill completely the whole crop. So in every time Cuba they want to develop it, a new hybrid, they want to usually stick with the sweetness that really characterizes the flavor of the seed, but at the same time to make it more resistant to the blue mold.
Yeah.
And the Criollo 98 as well. So, and that was really my first steps. And the cigar business was in 2011 when we started. My first show was back in Orlando in 2017. And by the time I don't have even a booth. So my family invited me to go to their booth and start selling my cigars there. And something funny, I remember I made just 200 boxes for the show. And the show I sold probably about 100. And I was quite pissed off. And I told my family, yeah, look at this, what's going on. My family, I remember, they told me, hey, you got to relax. Nobody know you in the business. And you sold almost 100 boxes already. You don't have any idea. What are you
50%.
talking about? You know, tobacco business is something that you have to be really patient about it.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you need a lot of love to really love tobacco. The first thing, you got to be a cigar smoker. That's usually the first things. Because like you guys say, I have tried 100 cigars. Well, how you can find it just, that's the things we do when I go down to Nicaragua in the factories. Every time just trying different crops, individual lists to make sure how different, because think about this, like there's a lot of things that I cannot control, right? Every year that's something. Look at what happened in Nicaragua in the last few months with the hurricane.
With the hurricane.
Yeah. So a lot of water came. So we were a little late to get the new crops and the farms. So there are some things that we cannot control. no matter how hard we try, there is something, and that's when the blend comes to. When I say this, you have to adjust the blend almost every year to get the same results, right? The same flavor that you have in the same cigar. I want the consumer to have the same flavor for the next 20 years, 10 years, right? It has to be the same. That's what I always, I don't know you guys, but I love to cook.
Yeah, I'm a cook.
It is a recipe, right? You have a recipe. If that recipe works, my advice, don't change it.
Right.
Keep doing the same recipe. So if something is not come out right, you got to change the garlic. You got to change the onion. Add a little bit of this or a little bit of the salt. Because think about this. I say this, like, I looking for flavor, construction, balance, and clean finish. The clean finish to me is really important in a cigar. I don't know if you why that happened to me many times. Like, you smoke a cigar and you stick with, I don't know, like weird taste in my mouth. So that happened to me many, many times. Like, you say, well, I have to eat sugar or I have to eat something really sweet to get this bad taste in my mouth.
Right.
So every time I down there blending a cigar, I really pay attention to these kind of details. So, and
cool.
the other thing is, to me, I try to blend the blends of my cigar with the history of Havana City. For example, the cigar that you guys are smoking, the HVC Cerro. The Cerro is one of the oldest neighborhood in Havana. So I grew up there. So you see the cigar is not really heavy. It's a nice medium body cigar with nice sweetness. In the beginning, it started a little pepper because that's the Esteli region that we use a lot of tobacco from on it to it. And then the cigar start mellowed down. You got sweetness on it. So I like the transition in a cigar too as well.
Right.
I tell you, I'm smoking the Maduro, and when you
Okay.
hold the smoke, the whole top of my palate is just picking up this sweetness. It's in there, and it is, like you said, it's very clean. It's not staying with, and every time you draw the smoke in, you're getting it all over again. It's a nice pattern. I've not smoked this one before tonight. This is a great cigar.
And
Well,
I always say this, like, to me, the sweetness in HVC is important in whatever line of HVC. Why? Because I like the sweetness in the cigar. That reminds me of a really nice Cuban cigar. When you have a really nice Cuban cigar, they got a sweetness. To me, it's like something I say, you can compare, right? But it's a sweetness that one of my cigars to have. I mean, not sugar, not chocolate.
No. I get it. It's like having a French fry with vanilla shake.
Like, you're doing the same thing,
French
Rick.
fry
Are you picking it up, Rick, in your palate, in your mouth, top of your mouth? It's like a sugarcane sweetness.
Well, this is the Corojo, so it's gonna be sweet.
That's the Corojo sweet, yeah, correct. Yeah.
I feel it for sure.
The one that you're smoking is quite. You can see how the one that you're smoking is the other one is the Corojo, the Cerro San Andres, right? We use the wrapper from Mexico, San Andres Valley. So from the Turren family, they are the biggest grower of San Andres, Maduro, for premium cigars. You can see how well complement when you use something from another country and you complement with Nicaraguan tobacco. That's why, to me, Nicaragua right now is the hottest country in the world. You see how many new blends and how many well blend cigars are in the world right now with Nicaragua.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Also, you from 1 through 4, you already answered everything. That was fantastic. Yeah. No, but
I have to second that on that San Andres. I love that San Andres tobacco.
Yes.
San Andres, I think.
To me, the San Andres, when they are blend right and blend well, it got a nice sweetness. Actually, the other day I was smoking the #1 cigar by Cigar Aficionado, the Carrillo one, and I quite impressed when I saw that. I said, "Wow, look at that! This wrapper is that sweetness. I think it's a San Andres wrapper too as well. I think."
No, San Andres, I think in the whole group of the BCB, everybody goes for San Andres or the broadleaf.
Yep.
Let me tell you, the broadleaf you have,
that
cabrón.
Yeah. Yeah. But the broadleaf, what happened with that broadleaf? No, that's quite funny. Okay, I made the broadleaf like in 2018. I did a limited edition because I say, well, I want to work with a Brolis wrapper. And the cigar got really hot in the market. And after that, I think we did was like 300 boxes. And then people start calling me, hey, Lorenzo, we need this Broly at the shop.
Yeah.
People say, well, but what happened with the Broly is quite expensive right now. So I was able to buy 10 barrels of Broly in my last trip to Nicaragua. So it's more than fermentation right now. So probably in
Good.
March, April, you guys will get more Broly on the market for sure.
Yeah, because none of the stores have it. I kept looking and looking. I got lucky enough. I got some. I picked up some that was like Tirao next to your other cigars. Donde Allen over at Caribbean Cigar.
Oh,
And,
okay. Yeah.
Donde Julio.
Yeah,
So I went there and he had two of the Broadleaf. I'm like, boom, lo cogí because I know that was something that fell through the cracks.
I still a lot of accounts still me on me, hey, when the Broly is coming back to the market, and I say, hey, not yet. It's in fermentation right now.
Let me ask you, Reinier, everybody, we're all business people. Everybody, I think some of us have our own businesses as well. We work for other people as well. But what would you say, like in 2011, I know tobacco industry is not easy because my partner tried doing that and he failed miserably. It's very difficult. What was your biggest struggle, do you think, coming up in the U.S. market, by the way? You know, it's not an easy market, like you say. What was your biggest struggle? Was it your competition knocking you down, or was it seeing people taking the cigar or smoking it, or what was your biggest struggle? And with that, what was your triumph? What was the tipping point?
I mean, like always, like to answer your question, I mean, I am the guy, I never get up. I never get up. To answer that question to you, it's like, I cannot tell you how many times I knock out the door by those times and they say no and no and no. Many times. They don't know me. And me, you see the way we speak in English right now, by the time my English was garbage completely. So I mean, it's still garbage today, but by the time it was worse. So
sounds good.
And then every time I knock out the door, the people say, who's this young guy? Because I started the business with 26 years. So you got people in the business that been, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years in the business. So, and they say, hey, who's the young guy, like, with these cigars that we like? But I mean, it's like, think about this, like, if you are a retailer, if you want to make an investment, right? And you say, well, I don't know about this guy in the next month or next year, he will be here in the market, right? So to me, it's that I never get up. Every time they say no, I say, oh, okay, so don't worry. Next month I will be here again. And next month I will be here again.
So would you say you're a salesperson at heart? You like the sales portion of it?
I really do like, because to me, this is a business people to people. Think about this. This is not like technology. Like, you got it. You don't. These business people want to meet you, want to know the history behind you, the whatever cigar, why made this cigar special, right? So it's like basically like door to door business.
The people to people business is really about that story. It's really about the story.
Yeah, and the struggles.
Like your name, Havana City. People want to know that story. And if you can tell them a good story, they can buy into the story. They'll enjoy the story. And that's where cigars have that, even the old cigar brands, they have a story. We've been here for 100 years. My great grandfather started this, and he was, digging the plants himself. He was planting the soil. Yeah. And so when you have a story, people buy the story or they don't buy the story. And the next year you come with another addition to the story. And every time you have an addition to the story, they buy the story. But then they're like, I'm going to try your cigar because your cigar has a story, and they'll think about your story while they're smoking your cigar.
Yep.
But think about the way that you are all correct. But when you see the new world right now, the way people do business, when you see the tobacco business in general, we still doing business like back in the days.
Right. It's that type of business too. It's
a hand-to-hand business. Yeah.
Let me, going on that same question, what was your tipping point? What was the portion? Because I know you have non-successful times. Everybody struggles. What was your tipping point? What cigar that said, coño, ese fue el que pegó bien, like
or what relationship,
like every time think about this, like in 10 years, when you look as a company, we don't have that many lines. Because the way I try to manage everything is like I can come out with a new cigar every month if I want it, but at the same time, I don't want to do that. And I know people love new cigars every time.
Right.
But at the same time, I wanted the brands to be known in the market.
Mhm.
Because if I came out with a new cigar every month, what about the cigar that you're smoking right now, the Zero? This one was my oldest brand. People will
Right.
completely forget about, right? So to your question is always you gotta keep going, and keep going. But
So
at the
would you
same
say
time,
the Zero is the one?
the Zero is, think about this, after the first election that we don't do anymore, after that was the Zero one that would really start taking off for us. And then the 2015, the special edition 2015, that was the first cigar that we made with San Andres, Maduro wrapper.
Nice. Con criollo.
That always we use Criollo and Corojo in the binder and filler.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I love Criollo 98 as a binder with the rubber San Andres. That's it's a lot of that kind of blend you can see now in a lot of cigars, that blend.
And think
Nicaraguan.
about, and think about right now, last year we came out with the cigar, the hot cake.
Got it right here.
Yeah, hot cake, but it's like boom.
That's a
to the
great
roof.
cigar.
We cannot keep it.
What is-
that was okay? Sorry.
I was going to ask. I keep seeing pan caliente, and I see hot cake. Are they the
Hot cake,
same
yeah.
blend?
No, completely different blend. The name is quite the same. Because think about this. I remember when I was doing the blend for the pan caliente down there, and they told me, well, what name you want to put in the cigar? I said, well, pan caliente. And they say, what do you mean? Yeah, pan caliente.
Everybody likes
That would sell like pan caliente. Because I mean, as a Cuban, you sell like pan caliente, right? So
in
here
Puerto
United
Rico, we
States,
use that phrase a lot.
yeah, Cuba
Pan
the same
caliente.
thing.
Yeah.
Pan caliente, yeah. And here in the US, they say like hot cake.
Yeah.
So when I completely different blends. So the name is more like quite the same, but the blend's completely different.
When you're blending, who are your targets? Are you targeting people that are cigar enthusiasts that have been around for a long time, or you're also targeting some taste or some blends for beginners, or
No,
no,
not really. I target myself.
for you?
Mm.
Yeah,
That's the most
because
That's the
I
most
always-
important part because it's your story.
I always say this. I would never, I would put a cigar out there that I don't like it. The only thing I want to be is I want to make sure every time I put a new cigar out there, it has to be completely different from what I have in my portfolio already. That's the main thing. I don't want to come out with a cigar they're going to say, well, I like it, but it's quite similar like this or similar like that. So it doesn't make sense to me. So I want to come out with a cigar that say, hey, I really like it, but it's nothing to do with the other blends that you have. So that's why to me, every time I think I'm wrong, because I don't blend for people, I blend for myself.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Well,
Do you
inadvertently, you're blending for all of us, because I don't know, your palate matches what I like to a T. I've yet to pick up one of your sticks that I did not thoroughly enjoy.
I mean, the other thing is, like, I told people, like, hey, to me, when I win the lottery, it's like when I walk to a store or whatever place and people say, hey, I love your cigars. To me, that's the lottery right there. Because I know I created something that I think people will love it. And when you got that feedback to you, it's unbelievable.
What other blenders do you like admire or that got you saying, hey, this guy's knows what
I mean, think about this, like you got Padrones. Padrones has been a long time around. The cigars are really consistent. Every time you smoke them, they are right on point. Dion blend quite well, really well cigars too as well. I mean, you got a lot of people, amazing people doing unbelievable things right now. So Melillo do great things, Warp. I mean, look at now the Guardian on the farm, they are also great cigars as well. Like the funny thing is, like, everybody, when you see they have a different prospect and different palate. That's what most, because I mean, we can work with the same tobacco, but I guarantee you, You came out with your own blend, and I will come out with my own blend with the same tobacco. Just it's really the consistent how we interact, because you will blend something that really like you, and you will share. I mean, you will win or you will fail. And me, I will do the same. I will blend something that really like it. I will be successful or will fail. But at the same time, the most important thing is you doing something you as a creator for you.
So of the let me see, de la vieja guardia, entonces sería Padrón would probably be one that you strive like for, or Cohibas or Bolivar, or
I mean, no. Think about this. My favorite cigar all the time is the Cohiba Siglo 6 from Cuba.
okay.
That's my favorite cigar from Cuba. When you got a really nice Cohiba Siglo 6, it's like you can go wrong with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
You can go wrong with it. You can go wrong with it. For a new cigar, people always told me, oh, what cigars outside your cigar you smoke? I said, well, of course, all the time I smoke HVC. I would like to say 99%. But when I'm not smoking my cigars, I really like to go for a Cuban cigar. Usually I have a humidor just exclusive for Cuban cigars.
Nice. Which is where I lost my train of thought. Bear with me.
That's how old you are.
Yeah, I know, right? No. Have you ever thought about
that
infused
train's already
cigar?
pulled out of the station.
Ever thought of what?
Infused cigars.
No.
No, right?
I don't smoke those. That's not for me.
That's not for you or for the
No.
company or anything like that.
No, not really.
So-
Not really.
Okay.
And that goes back to, you have to stick with your story. You have to
Yeah,
stick
exactly.
with
Like I say, I don't.
because ultimately the story of your cigar company is going to be the story of you.
Yes, correct. You're right. I mean, like, think
And
about
so-
this. Yeah, if I smoke them, I would say, okay, let's do a flavor cigar, but that's not me.
Because you can't
how-
tell that story. You
How
can't
about
live
for-
that story.
On your Vitolas, on the same type of the same brands that you have out, have you done any piggies, any torpedoes, any perfectos?
Yes, perfectos. We do
I
a
have one.
perfectos. We
You do a
don't do
perfecto?
one. Yeah, the vieja cosecha number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a
Cool.
doble figurado one. We call it
Oh.
doble figurado. Yeah, that's the
Right
only
then.
side we do in that. Yeah, we use
Yeah.
exclusive 5 years age tobacco. That one right there. Let me see the band. Yes, correct. That one. You can
Number
take it out
2.
cellophane. You can see it's a beautiful cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a nice
a
size.
56. Yeah, 56 by 6.5.
It's my favorite
Okay.
Vitola.
Yeah, that's the only thing we do in that. That's the only cigar and the only blend we do in that one like that. Yeah.
Are we going to see a hot cake like this soon?
Maybe.
I
Maybe,
lost my
maybe.
connection. I lost my connection for a few seconds. So I want to know, I was reading about pan caliente, and that was very same to Puerto Rico. That means pan caliente is like you sell very quick.
That's
But
something correct. Like you saw, like
Right.
pan caliente.
but when you read it, it's like I feel that I felt. It's like they invite me, pan caliente, invite me to try hot cake. Just reading, that was my impression, and I was curious because the manufacturing of pan caliente was in Honduras.
Before what the first pan caliente was in Honduras, correct, and we moved all the production to Nicaragua.
Oh, so you don't want to manufacture again in Honduras?
No, right now we don't make anything in Honduras anymore. Everything we do in Nicaragua right now. Before
Okay.
we used to make the pan caliente and the vieja cosecha number 2.
Okay,
And right now we make everything in Nicaragua,
everything, including pan caliente, the new ones.
including pan caliente, correct.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Exclusivo con Aganorsa?
Exclusivo via Ganolsa, correct.
All right.
They do, but they have a great leaf. Also, have you looked into the European market yet, or the company hasn't gone out to Europe yet?
Not yet. I mean, I had a few clients just in Belize and Dominican Republic, just outside of the United States. And because, I mean, we are still so small by our size in the company, I want to still keep growing here in the US. And later, for sure, I want to expand it to Europe. But right now, I want to spend most of the energy just here in the U.S.
The company right now is run. You're the president. You're the founder. You have your salespeople on the street. You have everything's here in Fort Lauderdale.
No, I mean, for Lauderdale, I mean, in Doral, we have the distribution. I have my office here in Calle Ocho. And the salespeople, all the salespeople, we have brokers. We don't have anybody in-house.
Gotcha.
So we have brokers around United States. Yeah, we have like 7 brokers right now.
Okay. So, but the office is in La Calle Ocho.
Yes, I got the office here in the A Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Just next, right off the turnpike. I got the office here. Because remember,
Yeah.
Aganol Salif does the distribution for me. There in Doral.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Julian, do you have any questions? European. Oh, Julian wanted to know, or we want to know, how involved are is HVC with the PCA and the Cigar Rights of America and all that? Is the company active with them, or?
Yeah, I mean, we are a member of both, and we will support them every show, every day. So we will be there for sure. Yeah, I think they are a big part. They are a big part that we are in the business too. So of course I believe in that. No matter how they manage things, sometimes I think that I don't like or I don't agree with them, but at the same time we will respect them and we will support them.
Yeah. Have you seen any struggles with the laws? Have you fallen into any struggles or not?
No, not. You see, now we got a victory with the FDA.
Yes, huge announcement yesterday.
Yeah, huge announcement yesterday with the FDA. So it's a good thing. I mean, the always thing I say this, they want to put us in the same spot as the cigarette business. I mean, it's nothing to do with it. I will tell this to everybody. We are a premium cigar company, and we have to always stick with that. So premium cigars has nothing to do with the machine-made cigars. So.
Very good.
I got to tell you guys, just to interrupt here quickly, this Maduro Cerro with this Glenn Levitt, this pairing is just out of this world. I mean, and Rick, I don't know if you're getting it too, but hold that smoke in your mouth a little bit before you let it go. I mean, the sweetness is just explosive.
Well, I'm getting like a sherry taste in my mouth. Como un cherry. Yo no sé por qué, pero
this is just firing.
Licorice.
This is phenomenal.
It's a great smoke. The Cerro Maduro.
I got a little floral now with cherry. And
you got floral.
You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh at this shit because I always mess around with the guys. You get so many guys that are cigar enthusiasts and they know everything about cigars, right? And they're just fucking esos papadillos de cigars, bro. And they're saying, "No, this tastes like cedar, but cedar from Tennessee." Not really from Tennessee, but the southern part of Tennessee. It's like,
I mean, I say I respect these people when they came out with that thing because I think, I always when I'm looking for a cigar, I'm looking for these specific things. Like say like a good flavor balance and the clean finish and the construction. And I know when it's different in the blends, but probably my palate is not quite sophisticated like that to get this type of flavors.
Eso está loco. Nobody, I mean, either that or they're bullshitting. I don't know. Yo sinceramente no le creo a eso a mucho. Some come in and say, "Oh, it tastes like a strawberry shortcake with a strawberry on top and a couple blueberries." I'm like, what are you doing? It does not taste like that, man.
This is phenomenal. I can't recommend this enough, and I've got to pick up more of these. This is just firing on all cylinders. It's great.
Reinier, I'm also gonna present you right there, Sergio. Sergio is from Cigar Podcast. He's out of North Carolina.
Saludos, brother.
Hi, Sergio. How you doing, brother? Nice to meet you, Lorenzo.
Doing good, Lorenzo. Thank you, Rick. Thank you for the introduction. We got to have you in Spanish.
Yeah,
en español. Sí, porque, my English is bad too. So, but I had a question for Lorenzo. Lorenzo, Reinier Lorenzo, I have a question for you is, now we were talking about San Andres, we're talking about, broadleaf, and I heard certain people from different companies saying that it's going to be limited in the future, that it's getting expensive It's going to be more expensive.
You're talking about the broadleaf?
Yeah, the broadleaf.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, the broadleaf.
And then the question was, do you think maybe in a couple of years we'll be back to smoking other type of wrappers, otro tipo de capa? Like, you know, is it una moda? What do you think it is right now?
I mean, with the broadleaf, it's like I was talking to the guys before. It was the project I did because I like the sweetness the broadleaf bring to a cigar. It's quite unique in all the ways, right? And right now, we were without the broadleaf for quite a long time, and I was able to buy 10 bales or wrapper of the broadleaf. But what happened is the weed business is getting so big. So, and all the broadleaf is for weed, right? All the markets is go for that to make the cigarillos, to make the, how do you call it? The little one they sell, but the little one they sold in the gas stations.
The backwoods, the
blonde was one.
Phyllis.
All those are like
the white owl.
Yeah, machine.
Yeah, machine
cigar.
made. Yeah, I did hear that.
This is, it's a broadleaf wrapper, so
yeah, right.
That's why it's getting difficult to get it. The broadleaf, and it's expensive.
Man.
Wow.
So I had written down here, is there a particular leaf that you haven't worked with yet that you would like to in the future?
Yeah, I think Cameroon.
Cameroon.
The
Honduran or the real Cameroon?
The real one. But it's not a lot of blends out there with Cameroon wrapper.
No, Aladino made a big splash with their
Aladino, I think. Yeah, I think a J has one too with Cameroon. I think. I don't remember what brand, but I think he has one with.
Yeah.
We are smoking a lot of. Edwin can tell you he's a fan, and you know, one of the conversations we had is like when the Cameroon, you can smoke anything. You can smoke anything in the first cigar, and you have a second cigar. You smoke a Cameroon, you still get that flavor, the essence.
The flavor, yeah.
And you know, if we're smoking more than one cigar, Cameroon, you know, it's a go-to cigar, and it tastes great. You know, it doesn't matter what you're having, what you want to pair it with, it's good. And I feel like that, for example, that Aladino, that's when I go to the shop, I buy one cigar that I want to try new, and then I go with that one because it's a comfort cigar and it has a good price too.
Yeah. I mean, that's always I say, like, you gotta try it. Always I told all my people out there, just be open to try a new cigar. That's the only way you will know if you really like it or you don't. And when you find something that you really like it, you still with it, because you will know it's always will be good.
What do you pair your cigars with?
Allah.
No, but personally, your favorite, your go-to.
No, probably go to. No. I mean, in the morning, coffee can beat it.
No, claro.
Yeah, you know, café.
That's a perfect.
Yeah. Coffee and cigars as well, but I like wine a lot. I like a lot of wine. Red wine. Yeah. And at night probably I would go with a nice Macallan.
Oh shit. Very good.
Yeah. I like Macallan, so that's even if you guys never try with dark chocolate. It clean my palate very well. Very, very well. Every time I go down to Nicaragua, I bring with me like the Godivas, like 85 or 90, even the 95s, just to clean my palate. I get a little piece of the dark chocolate and rinse with water, and it's perfect, ready to go.
How many cigars you're putting down in Nicaragua daily to taste, bro?
Too many.
Yeah. Sale verde. You come out green. I got other guys have told me, they go like, Rick, it's like an all-day event. It's water, taste it, water, and taste it, and taste it. So,
yeah, at some point that happened to us when I go to the Jalapa region to see the tobacco out there in the Jalapa, and when you try the bells, right, and the pilones, they are in the fermented, they got a lot of ammonia. But you gotta try to see how the tobacco is fermented, is doing in the process. At some point, that happened to me. I say, I gotta stop. I don't want to smoke anymore tomorrow.
Okay.
because you've been the whole day smoking don't leaf rot, almost rot, and you see it's not ready, but you smoking this, try out, and then at some point, wow, I just say my body cannot take anymore.
Yeah. Do you have any surprises that you've been aging?
We always like to work with age tobacco. The only thing I always say that the tobacco speak to you.
Right. Okay.
The tobacco tell you when it's ready.
Right. Okay.
So the only thing I don't want the tobacco be quite old, because think about the tobacco, you have sugar. The sugar level start getting down when the tobacco is too old,
Gotcha.
and it start
So
losing that sweetness they're looking for.
The essence, so it goes away. I take it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So your tobaccos are aged what? At least minimum of 2 years, 1 year, 3 years.
We do minimum 2 years.
Minimum 2 years.
Yeah, minimum 2 years. Yeah.
Gotcha. Julie, do you have any more questions? I'm here. Ran out of questions for
Yeah,
Mr.
same. We pretty much went through the list that we had come up with.
Yeah, I told you.
Do you guys like football? Do you guys like football?
American?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I am a Packers fan.
Packers,
You're a
yes.
Packer. That's right. You're from the cheese.
Wisconsin. I am from Wisconsin. Come on.
You know, one of our good buddies, Joe, is his corporate office is in Wisconsin. He's up there actually right now. He sent me a picture yesterday of his car when he got in the morning. It was 7 degrees.
Wow.
So it's like, wow.
I went to Marquette University for 2 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went there for 2 years, and I went to a game the first time, and I didn't have enough clothes on. I almost died. But it was an amazing experience. And that was when there were not many Latinos in Wisconsin. I used to play in the only salsa band in Wisconsin back then. Se llamaba Spanglish.
Oh wow.
And it was like half gringos, half Latinos, and then the singer sang. He didn't sing well in English or in Spanish. It was
No, Reinier. Sergio has some good stories. Tell him who you play with. He's a conguero. He toca a percusión.
Yeah, I played since I was 16. Well, I played, since I was little, in Puerto Rico with my dad. But then in professional, I started at 16. But it wasn't when I came to Washington, D.C., then I started playing with, Marlo Rosado. He's in Miami. Marlo is salsa animal. He won two Grammys, Tito Puente Jr., and then a lot of other musicians who come up from Puerto Rico or different countries that we accompany.
The guy that you say from Cuba, the first one, do you say?
Marlo
is from Cuba.
Marlo Rosado. He's Boricua. Boricubano. He's in Miami, and he loves cigars. Every time that he used to go to DC or New York, I go with him. I brought him cigars, and he was smoking in the green room. Where the people are waiting. He liked the cigar. People come. What the hell are you smoking here? I doesn't care. You're paying me. I think cigar is a big part of the art too. I was going to ask you a question. When I'm smoking HVC 500 anniversary limited edition.
Yes, correct.
But the aroma in this cigar is very good. The aroma is this would be one of those cigars that my wife will come in and say, "Well, that smells good," Yep. It's a beautiful. But one of the things I was going to ask you, nowadays we see a lot of companies. Today I got a cigar with an Elmo band on it. Elmo, the Sesame Street character
from Privada.
But I see your cigar and it has the elegant look, and I feel like, is this something that you thought?
I mean, yeah, I always try to look like really classy old style. Remember, we are HVC Havana City, so that to me is I want to stick with that tradition. Maybe sometime I can go a little off. So think about the cigar that we do for Black Friday. So we own the trademark for Black Friday and cigars business. So that's the idea that came to me 5 years ago, and we did it. And every year when you see the band, it's quite simple, nothing big like crazy. And Black Friday, of course, nothing has to do with HVC with Havana City. Because I mean, we don't celebrate Black Friday any crazy like that. But always in the banks and the designs, I am the guy that I do all that. And I mean, not me, of course, the designer, but I told him what I want and what I look. I want to always keep that classic look. Yeah.
And it is, especially the 500 series with the black band. That looks like a totally Cuban. And then the Vitola is actually like a
sí.
Y no es muy gordo ni muy largo. It's just like it's like
because that's the same size as the Cueva Siglo 6.
Yeah,
52 by 558, same size.
In Cuba, they don't do a lot of big ring ones. I haven't seen a whole, right?
Not a lot of large ring gauge coming out of.
No, in Cuba they don't have that. In Cuba, I don't think that they have that at all. Do you have anything planned now for Big Smoke, Reinier?
For the what?
For the Big Smoke next month?
Next month.
Not really.
No. That's the show. No.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they used to have it down here at the Hard Rock because of everything they've gone digital this year. It's put on by Smoke Inn. So those of you who don't know, I mean, I think most of the guys on here have already picked up their pack. I know Caleb has. I have. Should be an exciting
time. A couple of the guys from the Puerto Rico. Greco, han recogido el paquete de Great Smoke también, me dijeron, ¿verdad?
Yeah, few of them. I got mine.
You got yours?
I think that they're going to do a digital this year, right?
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, we might be doing something here at the house. You know, hopefully the weather will be nice, and I'll have a couple of the local guys that are core to the group come in. We'll have it up on the TV, and we'll enjoy an afternoon here watching the content. Seeing what deals come out. So I mean, I've got your Black Friday from this year. Great cigar.
Yeah, that's
I mean, even here, when
classic,
you turn it around,
Corona Gorda.
You've got this really nice. I mean, it's a nice detail. It's not just a black band. I mean, there's nice detail. I come from more of an artistic background, and I really appreciate the effort that goes into the design of your bands and how they're each subtly different and classy. And I appreciate it. They're great cigars, and you present them well. And like Roman, I've tried to listen to all of your interviews. You're always entertaining. Love having you on to meet the group.
Always I like to tell my story, what's going on. So that's part of the whole story.
Oh, I'll hold that before you go. Sergio wasn't on. He got on a little bit late, but I told Reinier that at the beginning of the Zoom meeting that we were going to ask him some questions that he's never been asked before, because we didn't want to bore him with the history, the Vitola. So I go, what's your shoe size? You know, get up.
And I was like, well, and I was,
Man, I really think this is my first time here. Thank you for inviting me, Rick. I think this is very classy and nice, and to see you and what is Nathan is? El socio, el que está en la piscina, Julian y Rick tirando esa pregunta, you know, it's like it's nice porque you know, sometimes you turn into a live or a group and it's more of the same every week, but this is different. It's nice, and you know, un salud para ustedes y salud para Reinier también.
Thank you very much.
Gracias. Igual para ti. Gracias.
I have a question. I have one last question. How can we, who are more involved in the community, you know, as como Rick, como Julian, Greco, that we are involved in the community of cigars with our different communities, how can we best support your brand? You know, what is
I always say like the best thing is like probably like support your local brick and mortars. And at the same time, like you go to the shop, if they don't have HVC, just ask for them. Hey, you guys never try HVC, so it's a great brand. That's the best support you guys can give us.
Yep, I was talking with Larry over at Smoke on the Water here next to us, and he said they had carried you, and it's kind of faded away. And I was like, no, you need to bring it back. And
yeah, we used to do quite good business in the beginning, and I haven't seen them for a while. Yeah,
I think you will. I think you'll start seeing them again. And I did. I
They
gave
are
him a list.
amazing story.
Well,
Yeah,
We offer Smoke on the Water. Smoke on the Water is great.
Reinier,
Great bar.
I wanna know. I like to know, right? When you do your business, you are going looking for a specific kind of aficionado. For example, we got in a community in Puerto Rico, we call like a purist, like other cigarro smoker, otros cigars, because in Puerto Rico we call cigarros and tabacos. You know, Puerto Rico smoke a lot of national tobacco, cigarro, is short filler, but we can see like a different enthusiast aficionado. For example, like who smoke Cuban cigars is like a specific person, you know, in a traditional smoker, and the new ones that I have a good connection because we are looking for a new experience. For example, I smoke hot cake. Yeah, I like the transition, but inside the transition is like a balance. The transition. The question: you are thinking for everyone or for a specific?
What?
I mean,
What?
probably when you say that,
What do you need, Ken?
I like first I say when I'm doing a blend, I think of
Said
myself,
no.
and I hope some people like it. But it's like I think whatever people can like my cigars.
For
Because
everyone.
think about this, like because when you're thinking about the guy that smoke, I don't know, Romeo and Juliet or Monte Cristo, old guy, it's probably difficult for that guy to change because he's smoking that cigar for so many years, and that's what he like, and that's okay, you know.
That's the kind of people that you're looking for. That is smoke your cigars and stay with them.
And exactly, you do something exactly, you do something that you create and say, yo, you hope people like my cigars from now and the next 10 years, 20 years, the long as we be in the business, the longer we will be in the business. But think about this, like think about I started business when I was 26. I'm 36 now. So I'm really young guy to be in the tobacco business.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a new generation going on and new guys with doing like cigar clubs and privada clubs and a new generation that you got to respect what they're doing out there with the new generation and cigar smokers as well.
I've seen a lot younger people smoke. I mean,
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Every day I see more and more, and then sometimes you look around and then you see everybody with a cigar. I'm like, shit. It's like when I first bought my Toyota 1.8 at Punto Ocho.
Oh.
Yo lo compré. I thought I was the only one that had it, and then everybody fucking had it. You know. I want to elaborate un poquito in that we've been doing, you know, the junta pero no revuelto, right? With the certain groups. Sergio's group up in North Carolina, the Cigar Podcast. He has his podcast. You're on number what? 70? Or what's your number on the podcast?
The episodes.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting third season number 3 now.
Season's number 3. So he has an outreach program, and then it behooves you guys, I think, to get together as well, just like what we're doing now. To
sure. Let me know.
Yeah, thank you. I think we talked to the younger generation. It's you know, the other day I got a guy who listened to the podcast. He said, you know what? He smoked marijuana. He said to me like that. He gave me a message. He said, but I see you guys, you're my age. I'm 32. I look a little bit with high mileage, but I'm 32. and then and he said, I see you guys my age. I said, why, if we're the same age, why can't I just grab a cigar and try a cigar? You know, and that's what I really want to try to do. And he said, wow, this is something awesome. I enjoy it. He has his whiskey. But the problem with these younger people is that they sometimes don't find a community to feel that they're the same age, you know, it can be a little bit intimidating. The first time that I talked with Rick and with Greco, I felt a little bit intimidated because estos señores, they have experience, you know. And now I talk with them almost every day. I talk with them almost every day, but I feel it's the integration of the two communities. I have a lot to learn from the mayores, you know. I have a lot to learn, and it's about getting both communities together. But I first tried your cigar in Privada. The HVC, I tried it for the first time, maybe like more than a year ago in Privada. And when I tried, I was like, what is this? This is good. You know, I felt like compared to everything that I tried, it was very superior. And that's when I started looking for it. And then I went to forums, to different groups, and people were going crazy. You know, I can't find this. You have it over there in New York. I live in Florida, and people trying to mail each other because they couldn't find it where they live. And that's why I said, okay, next time I'm going to a store, I'm gonna get a couple of these. And that's how I started to get to know the HVC. But in North Carolina, it's hard because I'm in Fayetteville. I'm in where the military base. This is a country, Tech Campo. When I go to Florida, I feel like you guys live, Julian and Ray, guys live in paradise. You have every cigar available.
Every corner. That's good.
Well, we do. Actually, we do. And going back and rebuttaling on what Sergio was saying, I think the three groups that are here, or at least the main guys, you know, Julian, Sergio, Greco, myself, we kind of pride of ourselves of having a clean group. When I say clean group, it's not, you know, it's actually a clean group. And when you see our page, it's not a crazy page. It's respectful. We want actually like to take advantage and promote it to the ladies. Kim has been a part of the board for ever since we started, right? So I think this year, Julian and I were talking to do a small movement more towards the guys will smoke. We want to get their girlfriends out to go smoke, the wives out to go smoke. Right. And going out to the restaurants has actually increased our female enthusiasts, because the reason is, you know, the hair doesn't smell, you know, they don't have the right ventilation. So this year for 2021, Julian and I were talking that we're going to do a move to get more women into the club and into smoking, because a lot of them do, and they like it. No, it's la verdad.
Yeah. They enjoy it quite a bit.
They like it. You know?
It's a nice night out. They see us having fun. They have fun. They all know each other, and it's the reason we all get together and enjoy a good cigar in each other's company. Bringing them in just adds a whole other level of excitement and entertainment, and it's
AKA no holding tampoco.
Yeah.
No sé, I want a question to Lorenzo. Lorenzo, we heard HVC, and we think in boutique cigars. It's like small batch cigars. You want to keep that way, or because we know that a lot of companies, big ones, and start like boutique cigars and then grow the production. You want to keep in that niche, or you want probably you are really close to be a big one?
I mean, like we want to be consistent. That's what we want to be. Think about this is something that today we probably have like 600 accounts all over the United States.
Nice.
And I mean, probably you told me tomorrow I'm going to open like 300, 200 more accounts. It would be a disaster for me.
Okay.
It would be a complete disaster. We cannot manage that with the production that we have today. So we want to keep supporting the guys that business with us. At the same time, we open new accounts as well. But at the same time, again, we want to be consistent in the production of cigars. It's not like to make cigars because we want to make cigars to sell and make money.
Right, keeping accounts too.
Exactly, and that you know, everything has to be in par for us to keep growing, right? So it's not like we're going to grow like that. So every year we're growing organically, and I really like that way a lot.
What's your average production of a particular cigar blend? What do you produce?
Think about this. Like probably we are around like 300,000 300,000
By
around
brand.
that probably. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's a good size.
All I know, I want to know when the broadleaf come out. I only got one left, bro. Come on.
The broadleaf, like I say, the broadleaf will be out like probably I would like to say end of March, April. I would like to
Are
say
you
that.
gonna sell it in the short robusto and the big robusto just like before, or?
It's coming before the same sizes, but it will be the package. It will be different and separate boxes.
Okay, separate. So
You know
Yeah.
something? I'm a broadleaf lover. I prefer la de Pennsylvania, but I love San Andres too. But I'm open to move to the criollos. We can find a lot of notes, flavor notes and aroma in the criollo and corojo, and I think that you can see in the market the corojo is like is growing again. I don't know, a lot of brand is doing corojo versions.
Mm-hmm. And
It's
it's
about
because the
that you
sweetness.
talk that's a good resistant, pest resistant.
I mean,
I
the
know.
first thing is they are really resistant to as well, but at the same time, the sweetness and the flavor that cigar has, that type of C is unbelievable.
And another thing that I was reading that the Jalapa Valley, I think this is the
Yeah.
best place. It's a
I mean, to me,
Corojo place.
yeah, to me, it's my favorite tobacco region there in Nicaragua, the Jalapa. It's really
You think
similar. We say
the Viso is better from Jalapa than Esteli?
that really depends what you're looking for in a blend. But in general, me, I really like it more the tobacco from the Jalapa region. More mellow, more sweetness. Esteli is more volcanic, more heavy, so more spicy.
Right.
So that's me.
Yeah, that's the balance in the both origins.
Correct. Yeah.
You don't want
Wait.
to experiment with Condega and Ometepe or something that you can say from those places to us to know.
Yeah. Well, maybe in the future, of course, me personally, always open to work with new tobacco. Think about the blends that we had, like I said, with San Andres, Maduro wrapper. They're from Mexico, right?
Right.
The Connecticut broadleaf. So it's quite the same thing, right? And now maybe I would like to go work with something with Sumatra or Cameroon. So
We hear. I can hear you when you talk about inventory, about the raw material. You in other quantity, you got the probably same problem. Sometimes, for example, the broadleaf, you're looking for broadleaf, but you don't have the nut production.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's the same problem that we have in Puerto Rico with our cigar rollers. A lot of people want to hear about a plant from Puerto Rico, but it's not easy, you know. So we are looking for other plants, other leaf from different, but it's a dream, and I was involved in some way to that movement to produce a good leaf in Puerto Rico and look for a collaboration to help us to put Puerto Rico again in the map of cigars as a raw materials, not as a cigars. You know, it's like we can hear cigars with leaf from Panama, Peru, different places. You know, as a collaboration. We hear Melillo, he got a collaboration to grow up, for people can hear about Jamaica in the cigar industry, but it's a project that we have probably 2-3 years, but we want to be involved more close to the market, for the U.S. market, because that's that we have in Puerto Rico, but we are overseas, so the distance, you know, we are the other way, so our price are more expensive, but we love to have more inventory, more different cigars in Puerto Rico, and I think that that's growing now thanks to the social media, because we hear about that. We sometimes feel like we are alone in the world, you know. It's not like in state. It's very different in Puerto Rico. You want to smoke, you have to go to Old San Juan. We have no local business, and that's how our mission to work in pro to our local market, man. And I think your brand is perfect because it's for both for the kind of people that we are organized now, that we are looking for a new experience. That our group, every post is for experience. What kind of experience you have with the cigar and recommendation. We work to the move the people who love infused cigars to the natural flavor cigars, and that the cigar that you have now to, I think that you can offer to that people that want to no be like bored, aburrido.
More,
You
yeah,
know,
more.
the cigar move you for experience to experience, and it's like a way, it's like a long way. And the experience we are growing in Puerto Rico, I want to probably hear more about your cigars in Puerto Rico. So we have to do a lot of work in
para
Puerto
un
Rico
recap,
Cigar
en otras
Enthusiast.
palabras, para un recap, cuando te montas en JetBlue te vas para Puerto Rico a ver si se vende. That's the question, Reiner.
Oh,
A ver cuando coges un JetBlue y te vas para allá a vender cigars.
Te vienen aquí, que aquí ponemos música de Bam Bam y todo.
Nos vamos todos con él para allá.
Yeah, that would be a chacho.
Never been in Puerto Rico, Lorenzo?
No, I never been in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
never.
Man. Oh, man.
Never. I want to go. Never.
You know,
you got cigar enthusiasts now in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and you don't need a passport. You don't need a passport.
No.
Oh, no.
Vamos para allá,
US citizens.
That's cool. Ponemos una mesita, nos vamos para allá para el hipódromo. We go to the horse races and stuff.
Well,
and the good thing, I'm in sandals and shorts and t-shirt, you know, nice weather, you know, like Cuba. I love Cuba.
I think that's a great idea. I think Rick and Julian and Greco, if that happens, we make a couple of big events around Puerto Rico. I travel to Puerto Rico. We take Reinier and introduce HVC to every single place we do an event. I think that's great.
We could get even sponsorship from Don Q, you know, and have like Don Q sponsor that shit.
Yeah, it's un reto because I don't know how represent the market in Puerto Rico for the cigars company right now. I know it's very small, I think. So I don't know. That's a lot of issue that we have to.
Well, the main issue is find a distributor first, and then you know what? If other cigar brands are in Puerto Rico, I don't see why not HVC cannot be in Puerto Rico. You know, see if their cigars, premium cigars.
I think it's only one big account there. I think we don't do business with them, but I think it's only one big account there in Puerto Rico.
Yes, and it's in Old San Juan. It's in San Juan. Yeah, that's why everybody says. They said, "Well, my biggest account in the Caribbean is in Puerto Rico. How come you guys don't know about the brand?" Well, you have to go to Old San Juan, find parking, you know, walk.
It's not easy.
Por los adoquines, you know, walk up over there and you know, go to the store, and it takes you, you know, at least to get into San Juan on Saturday or Sunday, it takes you 1 hour, 2 hours to get in there. You know, it's not accessible. So a lot of people who buy there are tourists. So you know, that's something that we also care about, of making accessible to the people.
It's actually a prime example that I'll show you, a live example, and this is like marketing, right? Eric he's in Puerto Rico. Greco's in Puerto Rico, right? Yes. Eric, the other day, had to go to Old San Juan, and I know he spent 2 hours going, parking, getting the cigar, coming back. By the way, he's a wine enthusiast. If he showed you his wine collection, el tipo está botado con los vinos. El tipo, yo no sé qué carajo lo que tiene. He's the one that I was telling you. Remember that I told you at the beginning that he was asking me how to cut it, and that he has to go to. That's him, Eric.
That's great.
So he's learning now the cigars, and he told me this morning because he's like, oh, this, that, and the other. He's like, oh man, tanta mierda que tengo que aprender yo para fumarme esto.
Welcome to the.
Ayer le metió a toothpick, you know, because he wanted a punch. And he's like, fuck it. I'm going to put a toothpick in the fucking.
Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah, if it works, it works.
Se me hizo canto el cabrón.
Greco,
Dime.
cuando tengas un meeting, Eric, reach out to Greco, because Greco tiene muchos meetings de los muchachos de cigarro. Mira, él está en Vega Baja.
Está aquí, Bayamón.
Tiene caballo y todo. So, tú estás por ahí también, invítalo, porque él también quiere
Grego,
aprender.
Oye, yo no le meto mucho al inglés, ¿verdad? Pero, oye, no lo hablo mucho, pero sí.
Tranquilo.
No, pero en español, pero ahora en español, todos hablamos español.
Grego, sí, soy de aquí, como dice Rick, tengo caballo en el hipódromo, soy ingeniero en sistema de información y ya tú sabes, lo que necesites por ahí, pues estamos a la orden. Y estoy enfiebrado con esta cuestión ahora y gracias a Rick y Julie, coño, que me abrieron las puertas en esta cuestión y de verdad que agradecido porque me gusta el tema y me lo vacilo.
Yo siempre, I tell Eric, it's like the wines, right? You like the red wines and stuff like that. So I tell her the same thing. Some wines you have to open and let them breathe a little bit. Same with the cigar. Like yesterday, he was smoking too quick. And that's a big mistake that I see with a lot of smokers, that they smoke the vitola, they smoke the cigar muy rápido. Coño, no le estás dando el tiempo a la hora.
No le estás dando el tiempo, claro.
Man, you know what I mean? You gotta
boca suave.
You know?
Oye, y de otra cosa te lo pones en la boca y trata de tenerlo por lo menos un minuto en la boca.
Right.
Okay,
that's cool. I just Lorenzo, how much inside the process are you involved? Talking about the fermentation, the constructions.
I try to go to Nicaragua every 2 months.
Wow.
So to go there, to be really involved with almost everything. I mean, I still learning a lot, but at the same time, you have to be involved in everything if you really want to make sure your product came out to the market well.
Can you share with us how is the process? For example, you're looking for the new blends for the new year, and you have both of them in the table, in the room.
What I do is, like, every time I go down there, try to new blends. The first things we do is we smoke the leaves themselves. When I say smoke the leaves themselves, it's like you gotta smoke the viso, you gotta smoke the ligero, you have to smoke the seco first to make sure if the fermentation is ready. And the other thing to see what the tobacco is picking you is something the tobacco is like, well, I think this tobacco can go well in this blend. Sometimes it's not sometimes not the case. Sometimes you try something that's really good, but when you blend with other tobacco, don't complement well.
Okay.
So you gotta try doing other things, right? You gotta try other things tobacco. But the most thing is you gotta smoke it all to make sure all the tobacco that you put is well fermented. And then you start trying doing the blends. Like I was talking before, it's like cooking. It's like doing a recipe, right? You try from this farm, you try from Estelí, you try from Jalapa. Let's put a little more of this, let's put a little more of seco. Don't give me ligero in this one. I don't want ligero in this blend. I want this blend just to be only beso and seco, for example. Or I want this tobacco only to be for Estelí region or Jalapa region.
Oh, that's cool. The factory have a standard construction by torcedor, or they have by brand, they have a specific bunch.
No, you think about, all we do is premium cigars. Right. And premium cigar, we don't do anything short filler. So when we're talking about the premium cigars, everything has to go with the same standards that we do. Like back in the day, like the old Cuban style, the way we call it.
Oh, right? So all the brands have the same style in construction.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
you're talking about cabezas montadas, no cabezas corridas. When I say cabeza montada, for example, tiene que tener las 3 vueltas que se le den la cabeza,
like
no cabeza corrida. Like a Cuban style, correct? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Amazing, man.
That changed with the style of the regular style that we can see a lot of new Nicaraguan cigars. That's a white band, and they have two lines and the cap. You know what I mean?
The cap, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a
You got it,
different.
yeah.
And
Because cuando tú haces cabeza corrida es más rápido de hacer. Tú no haces las vueltas, tú lo terminas y le pones el gorro.
okay.
Esto es como que más, como que
Elaborado.
como decirte, detail, como más al detalle, ¿verdad? Lo terminaste de enrolar, exactamente, le das una vuelta, le vuelves a dar la otra que se vea y lo último que tú le pones la cabeza, como decimos nosotros, el gorro. Le pones el gorro, al final
no se corta y se hace otra, sino de la misma, del mismo wrapper.
Del mismo, exactamente, con cabeza corrida tú solamente termínalo y le pones el gorro y ya, y tú no ves ninguna vuelta.
Cabeza corrida se llama.
Eso se le dice cabeza corrida.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
O sea que you was so close to the factories when you was in Cuba with your family.
Yeah.
I was really
my family was never in tobacco business there in Cuba.
Was in States.
In the States, correct. Working for Aganorsa, for Aganorsa is correct.
Oh, okay.
Wait, going back to veterinary. De veterinario a trabajar con cojones, mano.
Era Rick.
Veterinario y médico.
Acá son caros. Oíste.
Coño, man. Oye, era veterinario en Cuba, estaba estudiando eso, se fue.
Sí, yo lo escuché. Veterinario en Cuba.
Me gustan mucho los caballos.
Bueno, nosotros somos de caballistas, we're horse people.
¿Cuántos caballos tiene? Tiene como, nosotros tenemos como 100 y pico corejorses.
Yo tengo mío corriendo ahora mismo, tengo 11 y 7 potros, baby, de 1 año y medio.
¿Pero quarterhorse o...?
No.
Thoroughbred.
Ok. Yeah. En Cuba lo que más se ve es el quarterhorse.
Sí,
no sé, el quarterhorse, ya.
No, aquí no, acá es...
Pues yo soy de cuna caballista. Desde los 4 años estoy envuelto con los pasos finos. Llegué a tener 34 caballos aquí y en casa, bueno, tú vives en Pembroke Pines, ¿verdad? Sí,
familia vive en Pembroke Pines, yo vivo aquí abajo en el Southwest. Yeah.
Bueno, en casa yo vivo en Davie.
Ok, en Davie, ajá.
Y en febrero vendí los últimos 2 caballos que tenía, pero de paso fino.
De paso fino, ok.
Sí, yo lo mío era de paso fino.
Los míos son labradores.
Aquí tengo una chocolate aquí.
Yeah, you know, people my cousins had a horse. Hey, come, Grego. You want to ride horse? No, man, I got a bike, man. I don't need a horse, you know.
No, pero going back to, espérate que lo bajo del, going back to los veterinarios. Because yo vi un podcast que hizo Reinier y me dice que se fue para Wisconsin a inseminar vacas.
Es que escucha esto, es que estén los caballos. La compañía que yo trabajaba se llama Sexing Technology.
Sí.
Ellos son la compañía líder en el mundo. Entonces nosotros lo que hacíamos era en el laboratorio trabajar con los embriones y separar las espermas X y Y. Pero mucho más en ganado, en caballo muy poco.
Ganado, no, en caballo, en lo que es pura sangre.
Tienes que hacer exactamente el pura sangre de carreras, es solamente pueden hacerlo el jump, exactamente. En el quarterhorse sí.
En quarterhorse y en paso fino.
Y en el paso fino sí, ya.
Sí.
Bueno, en los pasos finos, pues yo te iba a joder, porque yo inseminaba a las yeguas mías.
Claro, ya.
Y eso era el de estos plásticos y métele por ahí abajo a ver si esto está red.
Acabas preso.
¿Tú sabes qué cliente tengo yo? Que tú eres de Wisconsin, Reinier. Yo tengo un cliente que se llama están en Beaver Dam, Wisconsin.
Okay,
Animart. Ellos venden comida de vaca. Compañía grande, Animart en Wisconsin.
Okay.
Pero te iba a joder yo con la inseminación porque eso está de carajo. Dije, coño, de Cuba me cesa tabaco.
Mira, pero ahora Eri, cuando vaya a celebrar, llévate 2 o 3 cajas de HVC y reparte allá cuando esté en la carrera.
Hey, Lorenzo,
me gustaría ir allá a Puerto Rico a las carreras. Yo soy fanático de eso. Me
hay que setear eso. We have to coordinate that.
Ya.
Me gusta el caballo mucho, ya.
No, mira, te pusieron contra la pared, loco.
Remember,
a preparar combo, cabrón.
yeah.
Ahí
Remember,
nada,
we
más
are
tiene, ahí nada
close.
más tiene un mercado selecto. Ahí nada más tiene un mercado para empezar a distribuir HVC que es selecto y que van a comprar mucho.
Esto es duro ahí, sí.
And we are close to U.S. Virgin Islands too. You know, it's like a
Puerto Rico
bridge.
un vacío. Es más, yo te reto a que vayas a Puerto Rico porque te vas a salir 2 o 3 lágrimas.
Sí.
Te lo digo,
Oye,
una vez que vayas al viejo San Juan y
han
tú
dicho que es muy
empiezas a ver
bonito.
todas esas piezas, oh man, es igual que La Habana.
Sí,
Yo no he ido a
Dicen que
Cuba,
es muy bonito.
pero es lo mismo, los mismos colores, es lo mismo, es
Es
Spanish,
lo mismo
you
que
know?
La Habana.
Aquí vino, yo recibí, amigo mío, conocí a Robertón de Bambán y a toda esa gente y quedaron locos aquí con Puerto Rico. Dijo, si esto es como Habana, esto
Es
es
lo
Cuba.
mismo,
Es
los
lo
carros
mismo.
diferentes.
Nosotros tenemos el morro también, ustedes tienen un morro.
Sí.
En Puerto Rico lo que va a haber mucha camioneta, mucho Ford Track, mucha motora, eso le deja el canto.
Pero podemos coordinar para el nuevo año.
Sí, coño, cómo no,
algo
claro.
bueno, algún evento que podamos también unir otro colaboraciones para fortalecer el movimiento.
Claro, cómo no.
Hablando en representación de Puerto Rico Cigar Enthusiast, nosotros tenemos una misión que es aumentar y promover el disfrute del tabaco. Que lo disfruten y educar a la gente, porque en Puerto Rico, perdóname, hay gente que habla inglés aquí, sorry. En Puerto Rico, we have a lot of people who love cigars, but we are splash, you know, because we don't have the places that we need, you know, but we can do something. Sergio, Rick, Julian, and Eric.
Edwin.
I guarantee you the group will be big. I think.
Yeah.
I think a good plan is to get together us. We can invite Eric to plan something and Reinier, when it's slow, when the business it gets slow or gets cold in the US, you say, well, I have this month that is kind of slow. Let's go to Puerto Rico, because in Puerto Rico, the slow month for you can be a good month for you in Puerto Rico.
Right.
And I have a few places. I have the connection in music. We get a music band. We get a place. We get Eric with his community. We get Rick with all the community that he's going to invite. Edwin and Greco and my community, and believe me, it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 big events.
You know
with
where
one brand.
You know where we could do that event. Los socios míos, bueno, tú lo conoces, Julio Rodríguez, que es el socio mío.
Right.
Él es parte del club marítimo ahí de Miramar.
Sí,
y ellos tienen un cuarto completo para tabaco.
Sí.
That's one place that we could have it, and it's classy as shit. It's nice, and we could fill that room up. Believe you me. Y lo entramos de gratis because Julio paga todos los años. Ahí él tú sabes, él es como...
it's an event.
Mira, Rick, ese es el club náutico más ranqueado del Caribe, para que ustedes lo sepan.
You hear that, Reinier?
Es el club náutico donde todos los multimillonarios que del Caribe, de Puerto Rico, de República Dominicana, están ahí.
You know what? You know why? Because Puerto Rico is our tourists is for the U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
For the rich people from United States. Our
Greco,
tourists.
didn't you do a table because are you into fishing at all, Reinier? Do you like boats and stuff like that too?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Puerto Rico, if you're into fishing, I'm into fishing. I have a boat here in the backyard, and I fish a lot.
Okay, I made an event in San Juan.
Sí.
And in, two nights, and was really good.
You did it at the IBIS, right?
Right.
IBS.
IBS. That's the longest standing fishing tournament in the world.
Right.
60 something years in a row, sin fallar.
And the other one, I made another one in Loíza, Piñones. It was a good one too.
Where did you do that one though?
When probably.
No, ¿en qué club lo hiciste? En el Club Marítimo.
El
No,
Club
ahí
Marítimo.
está.
Sí, de la lancha.
Antes de entrar, antes del puente, ¿verdad?
Antes
Sí,
del puente a
yo-
la derecha. Antes
Sí,
del puente a la derecha. Allí lo hicimos.
No, that'd be a hit, to be honest with you.
But we are
No,
planning.
like I say, we can do something in the future. Why not? I would like to travel there and go out there, and we can do an event there with the community of cigar smokers there in Puerto Rico for sure.
Yeah,
man,
and we can add other things like entertainment, and we can make a big event. A big event
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
good for the community. To it's like we had a few places like as Sergio say we can work with together.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys. I would like to say all you guys for having me on your show. Thank you, Sergio.
man.
Thank you,
Thank you for
everybody, for
coming.
tuning out tonight. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Congratulations
When
on all
when I
the.
go up, when I will be there and then all these days and smoke on the water, will you guys know to stop by there and have a cigar there?
Absolutely.
Oye, y si quieres montar caballo también, me dejas saber. Si te
I'll let
gustan
you
los
know.
caballos.
Okay.
Lo único que
Yeah.
no vamos a hacer es inseminar.
Yeah.
Eso lo dejamos para otro día.
Ya
Que
eso
no
lo
te dé
dejamos
como
otro día,
inseminar
eso lo
porque me
dejamos
voy a
otro día.
encojonar.
Mira, ahí tiene el próximo nombre para el próximo cigarro, algo con los caballos,
Sí.
algo para esa gente, tú sabes, tú le pones HVC el caballo de oro y no
Está bueno eso.
Hey, thank you guys.
Reiner, un
Thank
millón
you.
de
Bless you,
gracias
man.
de corazón, mano. Te lo agradezco.
Coño, gracias a ti,
un montón,
hermano.
La horita que
Gracias
nos
a ti.
dedicaste, mano.
Claro.
Gracias a ti, gracias a todos ustedes.
Really, we
Gracias a todos
appreciate
ustedes.
it a lot. Thank you
It
so
was a
much and
pleasure,
welcome
man.
to our family, man. And
Buena suerte.
congratulations.
Gracias.
Bien.
Ciao.
Te
Tremendo
volaron,
tipo.
muchachos.
Great guy.
You guys have an amazing club or community. I am very coming in tomorrow. I see you guys have something tomorrow at 5. I'm gonna be here too.
That's through Neptune. I shared that with
Neptune.
the group. Neptune's going to have
Oh,
Ernesto and Lisette talk about the pledge. And I mean, I wanted to show it before it falls off. I mean, the burn. This is the 2015 Edición Especial. This is number 11 for Cigar Snob magazine for HVC.
Now the
This
kid's doing good.
thing is amazing.
Man, he's only 35, bro.
But
I made it,
what I like about the brand, because I came through it across Privada, I think more than 2 years ago. It was that, you know, Privada releases sometimes some crazy stuff, you know, some crazy shit. But when I got that one in my hands,
Yep.
I was like, man, this is classy. And what I love about HVC is the aromas of the cigar are really good. You know, they're not.